Are you ready to unlock the mysteries of our planet's amazing waters? Join our scientists on their quest to understand, protect, and keep our oceans and other vital water bodies healthy. Discover how they work on research vessels, take measurements, run experiments, build computer models, and use satellites to observe water around the globe. So, let's dive in and start exploring.
Plymouth Marine Laboratory is a partner in a project called AgZero Plus to support the UK's transition towards homegrown food production that is sustainable, carbon neutral, and has a positive effect on nature. I'm at the Tamar estuary in England to join the AgZero Plus team as they take samples along the estuary. While the team is busy taking all sorts of samples and measurements, I spoke to Professor Andy Rees to find out more about the project. Hi Andy, could you please tell us a bit more about your project?
I can, yeah. So our project is funded by the Natural Environment Research Council, and it's to investigate the impact of farming on UK waterways from the farm themselves, through the rivers, through the estuaries and out to the coastal waters. And we've been doing this for about 2 years now. We've got another 2 years to run on the project. We're really looking to see if we can work out how nutrients and carbon are moving along the waterway system and what impact they might have on the coastal waters.
Wow, that's really, really interesting. And we saw today that you've been taking some samples. Would you be able to tell us what you've actually taken in those samples?
Yeah, so we take a whole load of water samples really to measure the chemistry. So we look at dissolved nutrients, so nitrate and nitrite, ammonium, phosphate, silicate, which all can have an origin on farmland but also have natural sources as well. We look at the carbon, we look at the dissolved organic carbon that can come from animal effluent or from the farm's fields, but again has a natural source as well. We look at the CO2, obviously there's a big interest in CO2 related to climate change, and again we look at how that might change. We look at oxygen concentrations because they're very important for supporting life in the waters, and they can change again if we've got an overload of nutrients. We're collecting samples for DNA, so we can look at what bacteria and algae are present in the water, and again how they change between fresh water out to the coastal waters. And we're also measuring greenhouse gases, nitrous oxide, methane and CO2. Each one of these can have a source at farmland. It can be produced in the river, it can be produced in the estuary, and it's always moving into the atmosphere where it can play a part in the greenhouse effect.
So nutrients from fertilisers being used on farms are finding their way into waterways like rivers, and from there can end up in the ocean. Next I spoke to Jasmine Drinda, a PhD student on the project, about how their data is being used to address this problem.
So what we can do with our data is help inform farmers with their use of fertilisers. So over the last 20 years or so we've seen a good reduction in the use of fertilisers, or at least maybe a better, more efficient way of using them. And that can help us reduce how much nutrients is coming down into waterways.
Is it as simple as reducing the amount of fertilisers used in farming?
So what I've recently discovered is that the reduction in fertiliser use has led to reduced nutrients coming into the waterways, but also we're now having to consider the effects of climate change. So that can lead to increased rainfall, which ultimately washes away everything off the land into the rivers, down the estuary and out into the ocean. So now we need to start considering what we can do to restore things like hydrological connectivity, so reconnecting the rivers with their floodplains, and trying to improve how much nutrients are kept upstream so they don't impact downstream habitats.
It's exciting to know that scientists and farmers are working together to reduce the impacts of farming on waterways and the ocean. It's a great example of how science can support industry in moving towards more sustainable practices.